All right, and welcome to week 4, day number 1 of the HCS Pro League fall season. And I'm Elamite, joined with me at the Xfinity desk, none other than T-Squared.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a break, but we're back. I'm excited, and a lot of team changes and shuffling going on, so we're going to see how these new rosters play.
Yeah, and of course, for anyone new joining us, we did take a little 2-week hiatus here, and we've had a lot happen in the meantime, from team changes to the Esports arena that we want to touch base on, and a lot of action here in the Pro League. So let's not waste any time, and what we're going to do is first show the video of the week, and it's a little bit of a clip here from Esports Arena talking to Optic Gaming.
We were down 2-1 pretty much the majority of the game, and with 35 seconds left or so, they were pushing in our base, and I got a kill, and my call out was, you have to run to their base right now, you can't turn around. So I'm like, oh, so this is good, this is good.
Seconds left in this game. And keep in mind, guys, if you're watching at home, that this isn't like you get the flag pulled and then you get that extra time. The flag actually has to be captured at that exact time, otherwise the game is going to just end. So unless they can get this flag pulled out around that 14-second mark, it's going to be almost impossible for them to do it. But look, Lethal gets that pulled right around that 15-second mark. Royal 2 getting a kill on a Pistola.
So I run through to their base, getting shot in the back, and the only thing I remember was you can't turn around. So
Frosty getting a kill as well. Looks like another player from the base. That's 3 dead. McQuinn also is going to be able to get one.
When I died, I thought it was over. I thought we lost. I was like, I tried. But Royal 2 grabbed it and jumped up.
Clenched his butt cheeks.
Yeah, in his words, clenched his butt cheeks. Grabbed the flag.
Looks like he does get
Snake bite, go over to Snake bite, Snake bite. He's
Oh my God.
We're going to overtime. We're tied up 2-2. What a play. Old school style. H2 running the flag through bottom mid and going through the front window. Are you kidding me? Snake bite so clutch.
That's the last guy behind him, shooting him in the back. He also has teammates there for the support. Who's going to be able to grab that flag? It's going to be Snakebite. Is going to be able to put it in. There goes the ground pound. Optic Gaming with the most insane CTF comeback we have ever seen in Halo 5, maybe in Halo history. Wow.
All right, and if you were watching Esports Arena this past weekend, then of course you would have seen that action. Now, of course, Optic Gaming went on to win that game against Team Envious 3-2, but what an amazing flag capture, Tom.
Yeah, Royal 2, the big difference maker on LAN. I mean, he's living in Canada. The servers have to be a little bit distant for him, and when you can get on there on the dedicated servers and show your stuff, and also just the environment. You saw other people standing up, yelling at one another. People had to calm each other down. It was pretty intense, and it was awesome to see everybody there.
Yeah, and you said that was one of the most insane flag captures that we've ever seen. There's only one that I can remember that competes with that, and that's from Halo World Championships Team Liquid. I think we were up against Allegiance at the time and had a double flag capture with like 30 to 45 seconds left. That was a pretty insane one to beat that overtime. But of course, we're back at the HCS Pro League fall season, and let's go ahead and take a look at where these teams are standing since the end of week 3. Now, currently, we have our top 4 spots rocked by Envious, Optic Gaming, Team Liquid, and Luminosity.
Yeah, and then rounding that out, and it's a very, very tight race. E6, Evil Geniuses, LOL, and then you have Allegiance sitting down towards at the bottom. But some roster changes, some teams making their way towards the top. Pretty much every single team besides those top 3 teams have changed, Kyle.
Yeah, and let's take a look at how the standings compared to how Esports Arena turned out as well. Because we did have 4 pro teams, 4 full pro teams, and then a hybrid team there actually went out to compete. We did have Optic Gaming convincingly win the tournament, defeating Team Envious. I think it was a 4-0 sweep in the finals, but really great games, and awesome to see Optic Gaming still holding that spot there on LAN. Of course, Team Envious, Team Liquid most wanted, rounding out those spots. And then the Money Matches team, which is a former LOL hybrid squad who's had a lot of changes, actually showed up. They beat Liquid in an insane game. If you weren't there watching, it was 43-36 with like 45 seconds left or a minute left in the game. And they got 10 to 12 unanswered kills to go ahead and take that victory. And that was an insane one to watch.
Yeah, a lot of talent on display. I think that we saw a lot from Most Wanted as well. I think if my mind serves me correctly, they were up 2-0 over Envy. So that's absolutely ridiculous to see that happen. And then, Most Wanted, they actually lost this weekend on Sunday, 2 3s up. 3s up actually beat them and ended up winning the PGL Legendary Cup. So it's interesting to see the matchups, how things play out, the difference between LAN and online. It's crazy.
Right, and then we do have a little clip from that event as well that we want to show in case you missed out on the action.
It's cool to have free-for-all back. We've got a lot of big names here. We've got Snipe Down, we've got Pistola, a lot of new names as well that are potentially going to make a name for themselves.
Today's going to be pretty epic as well, and we have a lot of money up for grabs in this free-for-all thanks to Astro, as Wade was saying.
Let's go through some of these names here too. I mean, we've got Straight Sick, we've got Prototype, Rami, Pistola, Snipe Down, King Nick, Baby J, we've got Hoaxer, we've got Frosty, Hook. A lot of big names, and a lot of players are putting like Hook up there as well. You know, Hook just stepped into the scene in 4v4 and just absolutely dominated. These guys just show up when they're at live events. These guys don't let anything phase them. Yeah, they start out a little bit slow in some of their games, but they sure do know how to close it out. Optic Gaming is gonna win the finals here, 4-0 over Team Envious.
Such a dominating finals for Optic Gaming.
Where he doesn't throw this sniper away, and I've got to say, Vibe have actually looked at.
All right, and there you saw that action. Team Optic obviously putting on a dominating performance against Team Envious, not to count Team Envious out at all. And these teams, they matched up 3 times during that weekend with the seeding bracket that they had there on Saturday as well. But, you know, enough about Esports Arena here, because we are going into week 4 of the Pro League. And the first thing we want to do is take a look at what rosters have changed since we did have that transfer period in action. A lot of it was depending on where Stellar ended up as well. And that started the little bit of a roster mania that we had there. So let's go ahead and start with Enigma 6 here. Of course, this is the previous roster. Kratos, Boo, Stellar, and Suspector. There was a lot of drama going on here. We were really curious where Stellar was going to end up here. And then, of course, taking a look at the new Enigma 6 roster, the reuniting of Shooter coming over from Allegiance onto this squad.
Yeah, it just feels right. Look, they're all wearing their E6 jerseys. I think 3 out of the 4 have their arms crossed. Maybe even Suspector does as well. But maybe he likes to keep his arms a little bit lower than everybody else.
I think so. He's got some of those longer arms in that squad there. But then moving on, as we also have this Luminosity squad. Now, this is the old roster here: Denoxide, Eco, L-Town, and Naded. And of course, a recent change here. Eco did leave the team. He's going to move over to LOL. And we've got Victory X coming over from Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, I want to talk about this team, but I'm more interested in how Denoxide's kind of turned. He's kind of the rebel out of everybody, and like to turn his shoulder towards the camera. But yeah, looking forward to this team playing. I think that Victory X got a lot of heat for the performance of EG and didn't really deserve that kind of heat. And we'll see if he's able to shine on this team. I think that Denoxide, L-Town, Naded, they're all going to bring it. But I'm really looking after Victory X because we all know how underrated he is, and I want to see him shine on this new team.
Yeah, Denoxide rocking out that blue steel there. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at LOL squad. So, of course, we had Renegade, APG, Ace, and Hines. Renegade was on the LOL roster here for the Esports Arena tournament. And APG, Ace, and Hines, remember, this was the 3 core members that were on Team Liquid at the Halo World Championships. Let's go ahead and take a look at the new roster. And that's Eco being added on to make it actually the full roster that Team Liquid competed in at the Halo World Championships, falling to just Denial there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some sort of thing to make an acronym and Liquid joke, but I didn't come up with it beforehand, so sorry.
No, it's too bad, Tom. We'll give you next time here. And then, of course, moving on, as there's been more team changes here as well. We've got Evil Geniuses, Roy, Lunchbox, Ninja, and Victory X. This was the old lineup. We already saw where Victory X landed. Let's go ahead and take a look at who took his spot, and that is going to be Stellar, moving over from E6.
Yeah, and Stellar are going to have some pretty big shoes to fill, in my opinion. I really think that Victory X was a big component of this team. In the interviews that we saw with Ninja, we're talking about how close of friends everybody is, and it looks like they've opted to go with someone a little bit younger, maybe someone that would possibly be more individually skilled. I'm not quite sure, though, so we'll see how it all pans out.
I mean, Stellar has had a really good performance to start off this season on E6. He was credited to a lot of their success. And then rounding out the team changes here during this little break is going to be Allegiance. Now, we saw Contra, Predevinator, Shooter, and Falcated initially almost be 6-0, but just can't close out Game 5s. So, of course, we already saw that Shooter moved back over to rejoin his team that got second place at the Summer Finals, and he is going to be replaced here by none other than Straight Sick, who's going to be making his way back. Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
So I really like this pickup. I think that Shooter's a great player. Straight Six a great player. Two totally different play styles. Straight Six is going to bring a lot more play, a lot more aggressive play, in my opinion. He's going to be not like Shooter was not aggressive, don't get me wrong, but he's more of an objective player. Straight Sick a little bit more aggressive on the slays, and his communication, in my opinion, is up there with some of the best of them. So I think that this team, looking at Contra and Devin and Falcated, I don't know if they communicate nearly as much as Straight Sick would be. He would be probably the #1 communicator on this squad by far, probably twice as much as anybody else.
Yeah, and he's got big shoes to fill because Shooter's been having a great season so far as well, and I would have put him at my MVP for the summer finals as well, with his performances that we saw. Now, of course, that's going to round out the team changes here. So let's go ahead and take a look at which teams are going to be matching up tonight.
Yeah, Luminosity taking on Optic Gaming. That's going to be our first match. LOL taking on E6, followed by EG taking on Team Liquid. And then the last match of the night is going to be Team Envious going up against Allegiance. And I'd just like to point out again, Kyle, 5 out of the 8 teams here have made changes.
Yeah, I mean, the only ones that didn't were going to be, Optic Gaming, who's in that 2nd seed, Envious, who's in that #1 spot, and then, of course, last but not least, we're looking at Team Liquid, who is in that third spot, but then had a real lackluster performance at Esports Arena.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that too much. I think that they're still, battling inconsistencies, and the more that they play, the better they're going to get. But I think that this is coming to that time where we're almost to the halfway point of the season. I believe, how many weeks is it going to be? Is it 7 weeks? So yeah, we're pretty much past the halfway, right in the middle of the halfway point. So this is when the teams need to really start turning it on. There's no excuses for the guys that have made roster changes. They can't say, oh, we haven't had time to mesh yet. It's like, well, the teams that didn't make changes, they're not worried about that. So it's going to be who's going to step up the most here, and now's the time to do it.
Yeah, and like you said, we're coming down to the end of the season, and it's a really tight race for those top 4 spots. We've got Optic and Envy in the lead, but the 3rd and 4th spots is still up for anybody. You can even see Allegiance still make a run for that spot.
Possible.
Now, of course, for any kind of news, standings, and schedule, if you want to take a recap of anything we've discussed here today, you can always head over to proleague.com/Halo. It's going to be the home base there for all ESL, Pro League, Halo, and HCS action. So make sure you take a look at that. Now, of course, we do want to hear from you at home as well. So if you do want to tweet at us, make sure you use the hashtag HCS or tweet at ESL Halo or at HCS.
Yeah, and I know this is a good opportunity to plug at Elamite because he's doing polls very often.
I do.
And I know that there's been, some poaching of the polls from Mike, our good friend Strongside. So shout out to Mike. But yeah, I mean, I really love to see what people think beforehand and how it changes as the series goes on. People like to change their votes and be like, all right, I'm going to vote for Allegiance now because they're winning. So it's funny.
Yeah, and now with all these new rosters, it's just a guessing game on which ones are going to mesh the best here and be able to come out and make a run for those top 4 spots. Now, of course, our very first match of the night is going to be Luminosity battling Optic Gaming here. So this is going to be an exciting one.
Yeah, and again, Luminosity, their roster has changed. Optic Gaming, they're feeling really good after their win, and there you have that Luminosity roster: Denoxide, Victory X, L-Town, and Nated. These guys know what it takes to, hang with Optic Gaming. I think that it's possible. You can see even Nated wearing that Optic Gaming jersey, so he's looking for a little bit of revenge possibly on the old team there. Not like it was that roster, but, again, my eyes are on Victory X here. He has to be a little bit of a vocal leader. He has to technically, judge the flow of the game. I think that a big part of the game is adjustments, and I think that with that much experience, Victory X is someone that can make, those important decisions that can win you the games, and that's what you need against Optic Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, he just has a good head on his shoulders when it comes to Halo. He's, very good at outsmarting players, and you can see that from just being, one of the best players in the game for, over a decade now at this point. So really impressive by him. Of course, he had 3 first-place finishes coming from that 3-peat from Final Boss back in the day. Pistola, big shout out there, as he was quite the impactful player at that time, as he still is now as well.
Yeah, but the thing is Victory X, he's someone that allows you and opens up the map for players like Pistola to get in there and play the way that they do and play sneaky and things like that. Victory X very sneaky in his own right. So these guys are going to be a little bit unpredictable in my opinion, but the question is Optic Gaming going to be a little frustrated from playing online. They've had about a week now, a little bit a little bit more time than that to actually sit down and play since they've gotten back from the esports arena, and we'll see how it goes because they could get frustrated after having a LAN performance, a great LAN performance.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and take a look. Of course, the vetoes have already happened at the series layout and see what maps and game types these teams are going to be battling it out on. Games 1, 2, and 3, Fathom CTF, Regret Slayer, and Stronghold's Rig.
And then if it goes to game 4 and 5, it'll be CTF Truth and then Slayer on the rig. So looking at these game types, I think that they did a good job of avoiding Coliseum on the side of Luminosity. So we'll see how it goes again whenever you're going up against Optic Gaming. They're so strong. You have to win one of these first 2 games. You can't afford to go down 2-0 in the series. Reverse sweep's just not going to happen. So a lot's going to be set here, especially in CTF Fathom.
Yeah, and I like that you brought up the Coliseum bans there, and it kind of looks like, maybe a strategic ban there going after, preventing Royal 2 from getting his hands on that sniper, as well as, Frosty, Lethal. They've been doing some big things here as well. Now, Tom, based on the new roster changes, things like that, who do you see coming out most ahead?
I think LOL, really. I think that while Renegade was a really good player, I think that picking up Eco is a very, very strong option for these guys. And I think that when you combine in the fact that Maniac's no longer on the team, and in my opinion, when you don't have someone, even he said it in the interview, he wasn't liking the game that much, not having that much fun. When you go and replace that with someone that is going to bring new energy to the team, I think that that subtraction and then that addition is really going to bring some fresh air to the table here, and he's going to be a very, very unpredictable, hard team to beat.
Yeah, and then, talking about Eco a little bit more there, he's really stepped it up. He had a really good week 3, even in one of those CTF Coliseum games. I think he was like 11-1, so definitely performing a whole lot better. Like this squad right here, LOL, that we brought up as maybe the most improved. Like we said, it is the same rosters we've had in the past, and I think it is a really good job for them to try it again, see what kind of runs they can make.
Yeah, watching their scrims, I see that they talk a lot about what they're doing and the improvements that they can make, which is really big. But we're hopping into CTF Fathom. And again, I think this is a good map for Luminosity to start against Optic Gaming. If you can, at least sometimes in Fathom, the first cap doesn't happen around about 8 minutes in. So it's nice to get your footing against these guys.
All right, and of course, let's go ahead and start this off with Victory X. Of course, he is the newest member to the team. I want to see if he's going to be able to be the impactful player that we had here on Luminosity, and what he's going to be able to do. And of course, this is Optic Gaming is battling up again, so time to bring your A game.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he's fighting 2 people top center when Optic Gaming, is really valuing that camo, but Nita does pick up that railgun. So trading the camo for the railgun, I'd probably take the camo in this instance, but we'll see what happens because they're also running a flag.
And that
Nita's going to shut down the camo guy. That's huge. Lethal down, and also this flag's being continued to run. He didn't see the player on his radar up top center, and that small mistake is actually going to cost him his life. Frosty taking down Nita.
Yeah, that flag is still out though. Snakebite in a battle with 2 different players wins both and picks up a reversal. That's going to be a flag return, and Luminosity in great position to open it up and not able to close out that cap.
Ouch, just that small mistake of Naded not prioritizing the guy above him, and I think that was, I can't remember who it was, maybe Snakebite getting that kill, and now that ends up in a counter cap. So you could have been up 1-0 here, but instead you're going to be down in this game, and Optic Gaming, you can just see once they get an opportunity, they just take full advantage of it, and it's so hard to, beat these guys if you continue to make just little errors, just something as much as not looking up when you have the railgun, and now all of a sudden complete map control going back to these guys.
All right, yeah, and that was a great job by Snakebite as well. He just escorted that flag carrier back. We're cutting off different angles, and they were easily able to put that one out, or capture that one after a great defense.
Yeah, and then it was that really clutch double kill coming out from Snakebite in the treehouse too, that nasty nade that he had to secure that one. So we'll see what happens. Optic Gaming, they do have top center control here. Lethal, you can always find him in this position. Definitely the most powerful position in this map. Railgun coming up here in 20 seconds, as you can see on your screen. And let's see what happens because they need to get back up top. It was a nice job by Sal Altown putting some light rifle shots on Lethal to make him drop there. Now Lethal in a weird position. I guess his teammates are going to fill behind him, and he's going to elect to push in towards the elbow here, which is a nice job getting that kill. But however, the number is going over to the side of Luminosity. So we'll see what happens because if this was Optic Gaming and this was an opportunity for them, they'd already be in there running the flag. So a little ninja action coming out from Lethal. He's just distracting there as the camo's coming out.
And that was a pretty good job. I mean, I like the attempt there. It did not work out for him. However, players dying left left and right here. We're going to take a look at Denoxide. He's going to be able to pick up any kills here in a 1v1 with Lethal again and gets taken out. That's several big 1v1 wins for Lethal here on Denoxide to start out.
Yeah, Luminosity, they were looking good to start, and then once that counter happened, all of a sudden Optic Gaming shows their true form and just starts turning it on. So these guys have to just control the weapons here, get top center, get some slays, and just try to put Optic Gaming on spawn and give them have them give you a little bit of respect here, because you're not going to win this game just going in there and trying to run flags like you did to start this game. You're going to have to get top center, control everything, and just slowly pick them apart.
Right, and look, for us, he's not even finding any members here at Luminosity as he runs across the map to grab this flag. He does have teammates here over in Red Treehouse, so Lethal's going to be guarding him. Some good nades coming in. Charge from top center. That's going to be L-Town who picks up that kill while Victory X is working on a counter pull.
Yeah, this is big. Here comes the counter pull, just like you were saying, Kyle, and they do have the numbers, so Victory needs to just run this as fast as possible here. They need another player back in their base just in case he doesn't get this one, because as you can see, Royal 2's already flooding in, and some grenades are coming in from the engine side, so there it is. There goes the stop coming in from Optic Gaming. It's going to be up to Denoxide and L-Town to try to stop Optic Gaming from getting this return. Let's see what happens here. There you can see Snakebite. He's on top of it, and yeah, just not coming back for the flag is Luminosity, and look, they're already being punished because of this, and this is possibly 2 counter caps, Kyle.
Yeah, look at that. 3 members here. You just see how good teamwork they have, essentially. Just always focused on each other, always working together, switching off between who's running the flag, who's covering what angles, and you can just see how much cleaner their execution is than what Luminosity's been able to do, even though they should have almost 2 flag captures.
Royal 2 just going and trying to get that trade
just
because
ground
the
pound
flag's
each other.
I think so. I don't know how that happened. I think maybe Royal 2 may have committed suicide or something like that off that ground pound. I've never seen that before.
I've never seen that before either.
Yeah, me neither, but that's weird. Either way, this flag still is alive in front of the base, so Lethal just trying to get this desperation touch. He does get it and ends up getting the capture, so 2-0 for Optic Gaming. Railgun and Camo up at this time as well. So Lethal, I think that he was just going in there to try to get the touch and desperate it in there. He wasn't expecting to actually cap it. So fantastic job by Optic Gaming covering him, and Victory X finally getting some momentum here for Luminosity, picking up that Camo, but you can guarantee that Optic's calling him out and trying to hunt him. So we'll see what happens. Victory now, the game's pretty much in his hands. He needs to try to do something with this in order for Luminosity to come back.
All right, so first thing he's going to do is move over, grab that Storm Rifle. I do like this play here. They're starting to collapse. Good job. L-Town picks up a quick double kill. You see a 3rd player going down. Last 2 members, and that's Lethal coming up off a spawn, are going to be working on a flank here. Generally, what you have to do in this position, the flag is pulled now for Luminosity, but Optic Gaming answers back. There's going to be 2 players in Treehouse, and this is Victory X's opportunity to go clutch.
Yeah, you can see Naded in your kill feed getting a kill onto Frosty. He's just sitting back trying to play a little bit of defense on the players that have pulled that flag in Victory. He's trying to clutch it with this Camo at the meantime. So there goes Naded finally coming back in for that return, and there goes the flag. So nice job by Victory using his Camo to full effect, but as that's happening, they're sacrificing some lives over here, and that could leave Snakebite and the rest of Optic Gaming an ability to push in here.
Yeah, that was the first time, obviously, that Luminosity was able to capitalize and actually pick up that return to secure a capture. You know, still plenty of time left in this game. We're looking at about a minute before the next Camo comes up. Snakebite already getting another pull if he gets around this corner. All right, good job by Luminosity to take that player out. You can see they are working on the return. Royal 2 backs up to grab this Splinter Nade. You know exactly how impactful these grenades can be.
Yeah, just slow playing it, but in the meantime, what's he doing? I wasn't even looking at his radar at that instance. That was a really weird play, and makes me wonder if he was even looking at his screen. So now Lethal's over here trying to get this return. Is he going to be able to do it? It looks like he's dancing. He is. He got it. Oh no! Nobody able to get that touch. Wow.
Luminosity almost has 4 captures now. They had 3 that they brought into their base, and they've only going to be able to pick up the 1, as opposed to Optic, who every time they've had a good chance at capturing it, have actually executed.
That was so weird though to see from Royal 2, where there was a player on his radar. He was sprinting right at him pretty much, and then just tunnel vision towards another player and gave Denoxide a free back whack on him. And he ends up dying with the railgun there at the same time. So now you're seeing an opportunity for Denoxide and the rest of these guys from Luminosity to do something, and he's taking full advantage of it. Gets that beatdown onto Snakebite. And let's see, they got a cap with their Camo last time when Victory X had it. Let's see what happens when Denoxide has it.
All right, here Denoxide pushing in, does get 1 kill, but there's 2 players in front of the base. They will start getting taken out, but Naded now has a railgun. Catches eyes on Lethal, who's still hiding in engine, and as you can see on those player outlines, Snakebite has pushed around on a flank.
He has to get up top. I mean, we have the luxury of having these player outlines, but the thing is as this flag is going in, he's going to have to hit some really hard shots, and as soon as he gets called out, nice job by L-Town getting the return in a 2 versus 1, so I'm shocked that he was able to do so, because once Nated gives up his position, Optic Gaming is going to immediately collapse on him, and that's exactly what happened. So he just needed to try to do whatever he could to get top center there, maybe take the long route, whatever it was. He wasn't expecting L-Town probably to get that return so easily, and thought that he was going to be the one to clutch it as the flag was going in, but once you turn that, weapon over to Optic Gaming, you're just going to see horrible results, and I'm surprised they're not getting punished yet.
All right, here now you do have Snakebite with top center controls pushing around, gets the call outs from his teammates. Frosty's already there to clean that one up. Starts getting shot at L-Town, who is top center. L-Town, nice shots finishing off that kill. Got about 20 seconds here for the new railgun to finally come up. Royal 2 not able to pick up the kill with those grenades. Take a quick look at the stats here. Not too bad across the board, but look at that. Luminosity is outslaying Optic.
Yeah, and Denoxide has the most kills in the game so far, but yeah, Optic Gaming with those counter caps, they're in the lead. So it's just really small things. Maybe it's just communication, or maybe it's because they haven't had a time to gel as a team quite yet. But again, there is no excuses because team changes did happen here. So let's see what happens. They're running another flag here. Royal 2 does have top center. L-Town has the railgun, and there it is. Royal 2 gets that kill, also dodges the railgun at the same time, and they need to get Royal 2 out of this position. He's just going to have such free line of fire on these players. And again, Kyle, possible counter cap coming in. We'll see what happens.
Right, but you got L-Town with that railgun. It's going to be really dependent. Nated, he can't be dying like that, but they do pick up the kill. L-Town still with that railgun. Ooh, but picks up a big trade there. So as you can see, that flag is being taken in and capped. Now we're all tied up, just over 3 minutes left to play in this one. Of course, with overtime rules here in Halo 5, should we reach the zero mark, it will add an additional 3 minutes onto the clock, and next capture wins.
It's crazy to see how Luminosity has been able to hang in this game after the amount of mistakes that they made. It makes me wonder if Optic Gaming is just having a little bit of a slow start to the day here in this week. And, based on what we've seen, Kyle, they've actually outplayed Optic Gaming so far in this match. Yeah,
they've been doing extremely well, and it's just those flags that they've gotten all the way back to the base that they've not been able to actually secure there. So go ahead and take a look. Victory's fighting back and forth among several players here. Snakebite picked up a clutch double kill. Victory still playing defense and getting collapsed on now. Lethal, big kill from Lethal here to take him down. You can see there's another player in Engine from Optic, but Denoxide hiding there with the railgun. Pops out a little too early. He did not need to do that. There were no grenades. You can see where his mind's at, but that's one of those times where you just want to buy as much time as possible for your team.
Not looking good here for Luminosity. Optic Gaming, you can see how they're just setting up a line of defense, but Denoxide clutches it somehow, picks up 2 kills as the last guy alive, and now here comes the flood for Luminosity. This is going to be a possible counter cap if they're able to get towards top center. You can see one player has snuck over towards the bridge side, and now this is going to be L-Town getting the pull. So here comes the spawners over in the silo. They need to clear out Royal 2 that's over in their own silo, and Victory X does so with an assault rifle. There goes Lethal trying to pull this flag. Nated gets the kill on him. Only 2 players left for Optic Gaming as they're going for the return on the side of Luminosity. Are they able to do it? They do. Wow.
After all of those mistakes that we're watching this game, Luminosity steps it up, clutches and takes home the victory. Now look at some of these stats here. Denoxide, talked about it before. He's really needed to step up and be a slayer for his team, and he's doing exactly that.
Yeah, 22 kills, absolutely insane performance coming from him. Lethal, on the other hand, with only 12. So slow start for Optic Gaming to this series, and that's exactly what Luminosity needed to do to start this one off. They can't afford to go down 1-0 or even 2-0 to these guys because just how good and proven they are as a team. And as a new team, this is a great start for Luminosity and gives them a lot of hope, for not only for them, but also for their fans.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be in a good position whenever you take game 1, especially against Optic. Now let's take a look. We watched a lot of Nated when he had the railgun as well, and he was not able to pick up, I don't know if he picked up any kills with that railgun. And the exact opposite end, you saw Optic doing some big things, grabbing some clutch kills. And in the beginning, those first 3 flag caps, like we said, they could have won.
Luminosity could have won 5-0 or something like that, based on how that game was going. I mean, their execution of getting the flag pulls, their timing was really great. It's just that they weren't in good positions to come back and secure the capture. Maybe that was just one player for Optic Gaming sneaking over and getting a pull, and then all of a sudden, once that happens, that opens up the rest of the map because you're starting to wonder how you didn't get that flag capture.
All right, and of course, game 2 is going to be Regret Slayer. We've got the players getting into the game. You've got Optic Gaming looking to bounce back after their very first loss, coming back after the break here, and that is to the newly formed Luminosity squad with Victory X. Regret Slayer, of course, we've got the scatter shot on there. You just saw the overshield, and generally it's a battle for that bottom mid overshield to start this one off. We'll kick it again with Victory X, as he was on the team, you know, to pick up a few flag captures last one.
Misses the jump. That's going to mean that Plasmacaster most likely going over to Snakebite. I know he likes to go for that one, as you can see on the player outlines there. And there goes Lethal charging in under red. He's just getting completely melted with that overshield, and I'll take that trade any day of the week. Somehow Victory X, after missing the jump, is going to actually get rewarded with it. And Lethal maybe a little bit too tunnel vision going in there under the base.
Yeah, Victory X missed the jump in the beginning of the map, runs back to his spawning point, essentially entices or teases Lethal to come in and challenge, not expecting two players to completely melt that overshield.
Yeah, here, Lethal, they got him for sure. And there goes Snakebite there with the Plasmacaster, though, and he's still alive since the beginning of the game. So that's, again, something that you have to control against these guys. We can see just how useful it was when Pistola actually beat Optic Gaming with that lucky, or skillful, I guess you could say, wizard-like Plasmacaster across the map. So we'll see what happens here. It's all tied up 5-5.
Right here, and you've got top center control in the hands of Optic Gaming, but Luminosity doing a great job of just staying alive and cutting off certain angles. Like, even though they're all trapped on red side, they look like they still have really good spread. However, two players do go down, not being able to grab a kill. Snakebite doing an awesome job of maneuvering around the map here and avoiding these grenades. Does grab the new Splinter Nade spawning here at red, and then clutches the jump.
Yeah, maybe Victory X can watch the VOD from that one and see how that jump's done. But either way, it looks like Optic Gaming now imposing their will, getting top center here. And that's exactly what you want to do in this game type. They're going to have to get Victory X out from under the base ASAP so they can rotate back on over to red as soon as the spawns happen. And you can see Snakebite realizes that he's the furthest person away from the back of blue base, so he wants to rotate over towards red, try to get some information, and then just doubles back because he has to go back to kill Victory X. So great communication coming out from Optic Gaming. They're not worried at all, and Luminosity is going to have to formulate a plan here with this overshield coming up to try to retake control.
All right, here, and Snakebite does hit that jump to get all the way to top center here. They know Plasmacaster is up, and it's probably going to get contested here, but a good job by Optic Gaming just buying some time before they actually push or commit to grabbing that weapon. Denoxide doing a good job of sneaking away and surviving, cutting off some angles, and, you know, with all that being said, and even with how good Luminosity is doing, they're Optic pulling away.
It's pretty interesting to see that I was scrolling through where all the players were on Optic Gaming, and they knew that the overshield was coming up, and Naded ends up picking that one up right when it dropped. He was just crouching bottom center as it came up, but they realized that they had power weapons. Snakebite, you know, he's over in a really great position. Lethal had also the P-shot combo, the noob combo, so he's able to take down the overshield pretty easily if anyone does come up top. So interesting adjustment and strategy coming for Optic. Typically you see them drop down when the overshield's coming and try to contest it, but they knew that they had really superior control and just gave it up for free.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they weighed their options, decided, you know, if we drop down here, we may end up giving up a lot of kills. Let's just let them have this, keep map control, and, you know, we'll focus on some of the power weapons instead of power-ups.
Yeah, and here you can see a player with the scatter shot, which is Frosty, and then Royal 2 with the Plasmacaster, and they're just locking down this part of the base because everybody knows that this is pretty much the area that you want to try to retake control, so that's why you'll see players sit over here with the power weapons and just try to control that area. And there we have a tweet coming in from Sierra Whiskey.
All right, watching the pros move in ESL Halo makes me feel like I am 5 years old with no thumbs. Yeah, watching some of these plays now, Tom, from when we were competing, you know, there were some sick things that would happen back in the day, but the consistency and the number of snipes that we see players like Frosty and Royal 2 hit is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, when you watch players play after, we're about a year after the games came out, and they've put in so many hours to this. It's almost like the game's connected right to their brains, and they're just constantly moving, and there's really no small decision making that they're making. All the decisions just made so fast. It's really impressive to watch, and that's why I think the fall season is just going to be so much more, and it already is, so much more entertaining to watch than the summer season, because the amount of time these players have now had with this game, and you're starting to see all of their individual map movement and just strategies come to fruition.
Plus, yeah, we've got this new overshield up, so we'll see which player's going to be able to grab that. That's going to be Naded from Luminosity, grabbing yet another one, pushes those players back, but the lead still pretty massive here for Optic Gaming. Yeah, and then just to highlight on your map movement and control, Tom, you know, you throw in sprint, thrust, slide, and clamber here, and the options of what you can do on the map increase exponentially.
Yeah, and we can see Royal 2 over here trying to stay alive as long as possible because this lead isn't as good as they would have liked to for Optic Gaming, and you can see they actually dropped for that overshield there because they realized that they gave up the last one for free. So I don't know if it's because they didn't have the weapons and they didn't have the green gun at that point, which is why they decided to drop there, or if they feel like they just could have dropped down there and got the kills and picked up the overshield at the same time. But you can see Nated, he's picked up the last 2, and if they continue to do so, they're going to slowly get back into this game.
Ooh, it looks like Nated gets dropped here. There's 2 players that just took over Car while L-Town is getting stuck here in Scattershot. He's trying to be as sneaky as possible. Moving away, he is not showing up on player radar, but he gets spotted anyway.
Oh,
not going to be
no.
able to do anything, and they just gave up car control for free.
Oh no, that's unfortunate for L-Town because that's the type of positions that Optic Gaming puts you in. It's very rare to even be put in that position in the first place. Nice stick coming out from Nated to shut down Snakebite's little spree there, but that's not the position that you want to be in because you feel like you're baiting your teammates so hard, and then by that time, all of a sudden you die. So it's like, man, was I really baiting them? And they just knew what I was doing the entire time and left me there? Because it's pretty much a 3-on-4 as you're crouching off radar, Car 1.
Yeah, that's a really good point you bring up. He took himself out of the battle to focus on power weapons. Optic Gaming took advantage of that, collapsed onto spawns. Wait, what?
What? Are you kidding me? Sometimes that happens, but I don't think that it should because that's an amazing shot coming out from the oxide. That was pretty weird. Sometimes I guess what you can do is, I heard you can switch guns or something like that when you get stuck, and sometimes it makes it go away. I'm gonna have to get confirmation on that, but I believe that there is a way to cancel out getting stuck in this game, and I think it has something
you
to
just
do with
take it
that.
off your face and you throw it on someone else, huh?
Yeah, I think that's what you do. Right? It's the new mechanic we haven't talked about yet.
All right, but there's Denoxide gets taken out. That new overshield is up again. Victory X trying to do what he can to contest. Not going to be able to get anything going here. Nated has had the last 2 overshields. Not going to be able to pick up that one, and then gets taken out. 15 kill lead, a double kill from Lethal. That's going to be top middle control back in Optic Gaming's hands. This one's not looking good.
Yeah, it looks like Optic Gaming not happy with their performance in the very first game and really turning up a notch. This is what we were kind of expecting coming from these guys. And now it's going to be pretty much up to Luminosity to respond. I don't think they're going to be able to do so in this game, and they're going to have to reset here and focus on game number 3.
Now, I always hate that. You jump up from below the base, don't spot the guy car side, just gets shot in the back and taken out. That's been the story for them this game here. Victory X not being able to connect on that plasma pistol shot there. So just too much excellent execution here from Optic, and this lead has just been gathering and growing the entire game.
It's just really small things. They can see L-Town, you know, as Lethal missed his jump there, had an opportunity to connect with the grenade, because if you see Lethal was trying to jump up on that little ledge there, and that means that the grenade is just not in the area there. But, you know, you can see a couple kills going over to Luminosity. I don't think it's going to really mean much, but it's just small things like L-Town not landing that frag grenade, and all those little things start to add up here. And yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. 46-30, I'd be shocked if there was a comeback.
Yeah, I think everyone home watching would be shocked at that one. That would be quite something to happen. Now you got this, that's a pretty green gun we got going on there. Tom couldn't tell if that's a plasma pistol or a regular pistol for a second. But either way, 1 kill away, separating this series, being all tied up from Optic Gaming, and just like that, 1-1.
Yeah, Optic Gaming making that one look really easy. Victory X and Denoxide sitting at the bottom, and it's pretty crazy to see Denoxide have such an amazing performance in Game 1, and then Optic Gaming just dominating in Game 2. And that just goes to show that how much teamwork really Halo 5 it really comes down to, because no matter how individually skilled you are, everyone has to be on the same page. And it also goes to show a little bit how, you know, snowbally this game type is and how out of control it can get pretty quickly.
Yeah, and then, you know, shout out to Lethal, 16-8, so putting up some big numbers there that game. He was definitely leading the charge for Optic Gaming. And Luminosity, there were a lot of good things they were doing, setting up, slowing down, getting the controllers over shields, but Optic Gaming just too powerful, especially on Regret. You know, we did see them lose, I think 50-49 in a game on Regret, but based on, you know, whatever they've done in this this break here that we just had, they've clearly revised that strategy.
Yeah, and I go back to, it's not like a game-changing play or anything like that, but something as small as Victory X missing his jump onto bridge to start the game and letting Snakebite get the plasma caster didn't look like much, because eventually Lethal charged in there with the overshield and they killed him, and it looked good from Victory X's screen. But all of a sudden, next thing you know, when he spawns and comes back alive and the score's 5-5 or whatever it was, Snakebite's still alive with the plasma caster, and that's just something that you can't afford to do, especially in Stronghold's rig. Say, you're going for the camo or you're going for the railgun. Any missed jumps or missed execution in the beginning of this game, and you could just, you know, get slaughtered.
All right, we do have the teams ready here going into game number 3. Series tied up all 1-1. This is Stronghold's rig, 100 points to win. You've got the railgun on the map, you've got camos, you've got shotguns, and we're going to start off with Lethal, who just had a 16-8 performance on Regret Slayer, as he really struggles to shoot down this camo here.
Yeah, pulling a Maniac there, and Lethal, it doesn't matter because his teammates pick up 3 kills. So that'd be great if I could, play this game and I miss the camo and, or they just kill everybody and I just walk around the map and life's
capture
easy.
The hill,
and,
not shoot anyone, grab camo and a storm rifle and just be on your way.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, take a nap while I'm at it, and everyone else is just getting kills, and that's amazing for Optic Gaming. They do exactly what you have to start this game. They capture. Ooh, nice job by Denoxide. But whenever you play from the blue side, you want to try to capture nest and basement immediately, and that's exactly what they did, and they got the camo for it. But it's up to Denoxide to try to get the slays back in the favor of Luminosity, while Snakebite's just dodging around the box, picking up doubles.
And that kind of shows you how a railgun shotgun combination can kind of almost be bad at times. Like if he had a weapon there, he would have been able to put some additional shots down and maybe even helped his team capture that bottom mid hill before Snakebite was able to grab those 2 kills there. So if anything, huge plays from Snakebite preventing that capture of bottom mid to Luminosity, and look how much longer they're going to hold it because of that.
Yeah, while all this is going on, you can see the routes that Denoxide's taking to stay alive, but they're not able to capture the basement. So the kills aren't necessarily useless, but they're not getting as much objective done as they should based on the kills, because he's trying to stay alive as long as possible. So when it's all said and done, it looks like they're going to be able to get this basement, and Rail 2's going to give that one up in order to save his life, because he knows that there's going to be 2 people there capturing that one. Doesn't realize that Denoxide has crept over there. Frosty with the bait and switch, going to buy Royal 2 his life.
Yeah, not being able to hit that headshot is going to be a big deal as that shotgun goes in Frosty's hands. Ooh, and he almost really clutched it there, but he's ultimately going to drop. Now it's going to be Hill going back over to Optic Gaming as nobody can contest this bottom mid. Oh, actually, I'm lying. Denoxide clutches it up, picks up that kill, and that's going to keep control here for Luminosity.
Nice shot by L-Town, going back and realizing that he needed to try to contest basement, and then the situation had changed, so he decides to go over there towards that snipe spawn and just sit on the box and stay alive, but doesn't realize there's a player on his radar, has some help coming in from behind him. Nice nade by Lethal to take him down. So looked like L-Town had it going for him, had the grenade on the guys to get that railgun, just wasn't able to do so. Now Lethal looking for a triple kill, doesn't land it on Denoxide, who's crouching over in the right corner, but is no shields there. And while that's happening, everyone on Luminosity just racking up the points here, and Optic Gaming going to have to make a push as this camo's coming out.
Ooh, Denoxide's pushing down. They do catch Frosty. Denoxide jumps on that little ledge to actually stay alive and avoid the railgun. Victory hitting some shots here. Oh no, excuse me, picking up the kill after L-Town put some damage on that player. Now Victor X will die. However, that's going to be all right considering they still have control and nobody's grabbed that railgun again. Royal 2 will find that out. So good job of communicating by Optic Gaming. Make sure they're taking advantage of some of these weapons here. Naded gets caught off guard and will be taken out as Royal 2 pushes into bottom mid from the barrels here. Almost grabs a double, but actually L-Town kind of really outplays him there.
Yeah, I was watching that from L-Town's screen as the battle was happening, and that was nasty. But either way, Optic Gaming was able to capture Nest here, so finally stopping the Luminosity setup. As that's happening, Luminosity picking up a couple kills here, and they're going over towards the BR, so electing to give up the Nest and hold BR in basement, which is really interesting. And now everybody's spawning in that open field area, and I don't think that's what they necessarily wanted for the side of Luminosity, but that's what happened. So we'll see how they play it from here on out.
Ooh, and I thought Naded was going to be able to hit that shot and pick up that kill on Lethal. Lethal, however, clutching it and does take him out. Now the lead is back over to Luminosity here. Denoxide grabbing a big 1v1 kill. They do have Royal 2's looking to capture this bottom mid hill. He's got some help. You can see how fast that's being captured. A player above him, but it's not going to try to contest that. He's going to just wait for his shields as long as possible. Victor X is not going to be able to do much with 3 players collapsing on him. However, carbine control back over to Luminosity, and Naded here, as you can see in that kill feed, has a shotgun. Don't know if Royal 2 knew that, but he gets dropped. That's going to be players dying left and right. Taking a look at some of the kills here. L-Town 10 kills, doing some good work here for that squad. Now they do capture BR base, but that's not going to keep control for long, as basement's going to go back over to Luminosity in a moment.
This is a big time of the game because Optic Gaming's go over here towards the nest, and the camo's dropping here shortly. So I'm assuming that they're going to flood over towards the Whitehall after this, or they're going to try to collapse on that player in the carbine area. But you can see Luminosity is getting the kills, so they're going to have free reign on this map. And let's see what they end up doing here. Let's see if Denoxide's aware that this camo is up. And there it is, 730 grab. Everyone Optic Gaming trying to melt him as fast as possible. Is he going to be able to hit the clamor? He does. So keeping his camo hopes alive over here is Denoxide and Luminosity, as this series is tied up 1-1. This is probably the most important minute or two here in this series, because if you're Luminosity and win this game, that's going to be a huge momentum boost.
And this is going to be everything right here. Whether or not Denoxide's going to be able to grab any kills here with this, he grabs the one. Ooh. Great Splinter Nade for a free double kill. Might get shots on this player for the third. He is no shields, just going to leave him for his teammates to clean up. I do like this play, immediately trying to get in a better position to contest. All the players spawning here bunkers, he will know they are.
Missed his jump onto that little ledge. Doesn't matter, has the camo, comes around, takes off Lethal's face, and also does focus these players. That is Royal 2, the last guy alive, now top rail, and he's down. So there goes the spawns over there towards the carbine, and let's see if Luminosity has communicated that, because they should be able to run the map now that they have this information on the spawns and a triple cap.
Yeah, he's still got plenty of ammo left in this shotgun as well. Oh, and almost, is he going to be taken out?
Oh, nice job riding the wall, trying to just clamber back and forth there, but it looks like Optic Gaming going to be able to stop the bleeding. They're immediately going to rotate over towards the nest after this, and everybody on Luminosity has to realize that and get focused, and that's Victory X, the only person on that side of the map, and Naded splits over to go towards the basement. So big mistake by, it's either one of their mistakes, but I think Naded probably should have went over there with Victory X, and they need to focus on the nest and sit over there on overpass, and they could have helped this poor man set up for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, Denoxide almost needed to stay at BR base by himself, and everyone needed to push back to Carbine. Just too many players were able to stay alive and collapse on basement. Yet 3 members from Optic jump into that BR base hill to actually recapture it, and now they themselves are working on a triple cap.
That's unfortunate, because they should have been able to, again, run the map there. They had the spawns under control. They knew exactly what was happening in that situation. They just didn't play accordingly. Once that basement went on over to Optic Gaming, they had to realize that they are immediately going to rotate over the nest. They're not going to go to BR and challenge you guys over at BR. So that's immediately where you try to control Snipe Hall and try to control overpass. And there you have Lethal over here with the flank, trying to get control of this BR base again. Picks up 2 and the killing spree. There is a third above him on the overpass. He's charging it up, looking for it. Misses it, almost kills his teammate Snakebite there, but they're able to take this back, and now they control basement and BR base.
Oh, here you go. Victory X is going to try to contest these players pushing over into barrel, get some shots down or some damage down. That's going to be a hard challenge to make here. L-Town gets taken out. That's 2 dead for Luminosity, 3 dead for Luminosity. Back to a potential triple cap, but oh, that's a big, big win there for Victory, but is it going to be enough, as it is still a triple cap back over to Optic? Not much time for Luminosity to collect here to actually close it out, but it's going to be really difficult to do. You are against the best team in the league.
They just made a huge mistake by letting Optic Gaming get back in this one when they had the triple cap. They all choked, and they went over to, not all choked, but they all choked the spawns and went over towards BR base. They sent 2 or 3 players over there, and again, everyone spawned on Optic Gaming over to the carbine side. So they went over to the basement, captured that, and then they rotated over the nest, and that's just simple Halo 5. Everyone should have realized that on the side of Luminosity here. So now they're on the back foot, as Optic Gaming's just going to be able to get control.
All right, yeah, Optic Gaming has it right back. Now they're trying to answer back with his basement. They will, in fact, get it. Victory X, 2 Splinter Nade kills in a row to secure that. That's control back into Luminosity's hands, and there's not a whole lot of time here left.
It's interesting, that Splinter Grenade was very visible in my opinion, and it seemed like it was just very well placed for something like that. And Victory X is getting a double kill and clutching it up at that point. So we'll see what happens. It's desperation time here for Optic Gaming. Snakebite knows that he needs that kill, but at the same time, he also needs to rotate over towards the nest, and it's not going to happen. However, they are able to get that basement and hold BR. While that's happening, Victory has rotated over towards the BR. It looks not to cap it. So very interesting strategy here to go and charge and help his teammates. This is pretty much the game if they're able to capture this.
Ooh,
he gets in there.
Like this.
Nice play from Victory, and that's going to pay off for these guys. That should be the game, and I think Luminosity should be able to go up 2-1 here in this series as long as they get this player, which is Lethal, out. 1 grenade hits. It's not going to be enough. There goes the melee. Luminosity takes game number 3 by surprise.
And wow, that's a lot of captures this game as well. It was constant back and forth rotations. A few times we saw a couple crucial mistakes even, giving up BR space and Carbine spawns. You got to really be able to collapse quickly back on Carbine if you ever push over and block those bunker spawns when you go for BR base. So overall, Luminosity, great job here, taking the series lead. And keep in mind that Optic's not even in first place right now. Every game they lose is lowering that win percentage that was so insanely high last season. And you know, it's not even a guarantee for them to making it over to finals here.
Yeah, and that would be very disappointing to see that happen because obviously they're such a great LAN team. But, you know, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I don't think that that's going to happen. When they need to step it up, I think that they will. Especially we saw, and there it was, walking into that splinter grenade, which was a little bit odd. So we've seen a couple uncharacteristic things like Royal 2 letting the Noxide get the back smack on him, walking right into the splinter grenades that you don't typically see out from these guys. But look, they bounced back from game number 1 in 150 to 30. CTF Truth, we know how good they are at it.
Yeah, I mean, and just highlighting on the game a little bit more, Victory X, absolutely MVP in my eyes in that game. Not only did he have that double kill with the splinter nades to prevent Optic Gaming from regaining control, but he actually did not go for the BR base hill, elected to push right over to basement, and it paid out, or paid off. Yeah.
Big time play. I mean, I'm not a big fan of being at that BR base either, so I really like that he decided to push with his teammates and make sure that he captured that, because even if he did capture BR base, it probably would have been able to go right back over to Optic Gaming either way. But now we're moving into game number 4. It's going to be CTF on Truth, and we'll see what happens here. Again, we know how strong Optic Gaming is at this game type. And, you know, CTF Fathom, though, did go on over to Luminosity, so we know they have what it takes when it comes to CTF.
All right, and kind of a slow start to push out here. You got a bunch of players dropping left and right, some trades even happening. Victor X picking up a perfect shots on Lethal, who was up in an advantage in a 1v1 there. So that was a lot of help to get some pink control here. You do have 2 players, Naded and Victory X, pushing into pink 2. Naded, what a great job hitting that fuel rod shot there. And then picked up 2 kills here for his team. Still 2 members down. The new, excuse me, not the new one, but the fuel rod now goes back over to Denoxide's hands, who's starting to push into the base. He's got to be really careful. He's got the call outs that there's a player hiding below it. Will secure that kill. Now is he going to flank or go top of the base?
This game's going to say a lot. I mean, if Optic Gaming's able to win this game, they're going to win this series, in my opinion. We're going to see the best from both teams in this specific game type, and it's going to say a lot about what Luminosity is going to be made of for the rest of the season.
Denoxide was doing a pretty good job of moving around, but 3 members of Optic collapse from different angles and just take him out really quickly now.
Whoa, team nade.
That really did look like a team nade there, so not very often are you going to secure a cap after something like that happens, so we're going to be able to see if they're going to be able to push that across. Frosty does barely make his head around the corner here, and will be able to ground pound in the first one. That's a flag capture that they needed to stop.
That was weird. I mean, that looked like one of those instances where someone ate your food that you had leftovers of and you got super mad, so you just like nonchalantly chuck a grenade at them or something like that. So I don't know, maybe something's going on at the Optic house that I don't know about or something, but
that was like a 5v3 flag run that they actually put in. That was pretty amazing.
That was impressive, but here comes the Luminosity push, and L-Town picking up a kill onto Royal 2. Now, Denoxide did chuck a splinter grenade over there, which is going to stop the progress. So let's see what he does here, because he is the last line of a flag return over on the side of Luminosity, and there are players dropping all along around him. So it's going to be very tough, and this is a tough situation to be in, but he's playing it pretty well. But Royal 2 comes in, says no with the assault rifle. Yeah,
I mean, kind of a risky play to pre-shoot too much with that storm rifle, because there's a good chance it's going to overheat. As soon as that player ran in, he was not going to even have enough shots left in that weapon to take him out. So a little bit overzealous there, but still, standoff here. Luminosity still has Optic Gaming's flag in their base. Now, Optic does have map control, considering top center and carbine. You can see the player outlines there, but it looks like Luminosity is finally starting to push out, and they're focusing on pink here.
They need to get a touch, because that's very easily returnable, in my opinion. They're going to get the touch anytime soon here, and there they do. So going back to talking about this actual flag standoff, Kyle, I think this is going to heavily favor Optic Gaming, because they've been in these situations so many times, and I feel like there could be a little bit of miscommunication that could happen on the side of Luminosity. Maybe Victory X has a different, play style in the flag standoffs, or thinks that it could be something different, but nice job by Snakebite turning around and hearing that call out, and that's going to be 3 dead now for Luminosity, and I think they should be able to spot this last flag guy. That is going to be Naded, who was being a little bit sneaky over here, but everybody's spawning on pink 1, tosses it out bottom center, but Optic Gaming smart and realizes that the grenades are coming in, counts all the grenades, now flies in for the return and gets it. Perfect timing coming in from Snakebite. That should be the cap, but they do get a couple kills on the side of Luminosity, so they should be able to counter this one. And that's not the worst case scenario for these guys.
I mean, that was a great job by Nated and by Optic Gaming. So Nated realized that he's the last guy alive, trapped in bubble, and wanted to prevent the flag from being returned or put it in the best position possible for his teammates coming off spawn to try and contest that. He throws it bottom center knowing his teammates are going to be spawning at pink, and unfortunately they weren't able to keep that flag alive, but Nated doing all he can to try and help out the squad.
Yeah, and another flag being pulled for Optic Gaming. I'm not sure if they have the slays, though, for being able to do this one, so I think that they're going to try to bait this one, so we'll see what happens. But either way, I think that Luminosity, they did a pretty good job in that flag standoff. I do like the play that Nated was doing, but you can just see Optic Gaming, they're really starting to turn it on. And that's what's so scary about them. After they drop a game, they just really go into beast mode. And this is reminding me a little bit, though, of Game 1, Kyle, where Optic Gaming did have a really nice start and they looked really strong, but Luminosity just refused to die.
Oh, and Deny side, they would have loved to grab that kill on Lethal, but he's able to fly in, take him out before he's able to keep that fuel rod alive. Now, that is going to be a flag capture going for Luminosity, so we still got ourselves a game. It's starting to look a whole lot like game number 1. You know, if you're asking me what this is resembling here, kind of same situation.
Yeah, and Nated has the camo actually top center, and Lethal's trying to spot where he is, but I think that he's just been left for one of his teammates, and there goes the shots from top center. Lethal had no idea, so Nated doing a really nice job playing sneaky. He's actually in the enemy base, and you can see Victory X coming in for the flank at the same time. Gets that kill onto Royal 2 as Nated's pulling that flag with the knock side, and they got it all the way towards pink side, and also help coming in from L-Town. Snakebite dropping in there. It's now a 3-on-3, make that a 2-on-3 here. Luminosity gonna have to give this flag cap up. Optic Gaming, nice job by Frosty.
Victory's doing everything he can to try to cut off some of these
did that
angles.
Stick? It did! Hail Mary. Nice job by Victory, but it's not going to be enough. And Luminosity, they're hanging right in there. Every time it looks like Optic Gaming's going to, try to shut this game down, they don't give up. And that's really impressive for these guys, especially considering they don't have that much time under their belts as a squad. And we all know Optic Gaming coming off that Esports arena when they're playing at a really high level too. So fantastic gameplay coming out for both teams here. And with this camo coming up, this could be the minute where we see some sort of momentum change for either team.
All right, now Royal 2 does get hit by some frag nades, so it will show hit markers that there is a player hiding here pink side of the base. You've got L-Town and Nated pushing into collapse, but a better job by Optic Gaming on defense to actually pick up those kills. Actually, all 4 players trade with each other. It's a pretty even standoff, but when one team's playing aggression, one team's playing defense or offense versus defense there, the whoever's in their base that dies is going to pick up the advantage.
Yeah, an advantage over to Optic Gaming right now because they have pink control and they've split the map with Luminosity, who's elected to go over towards the car side. And when the camo obviously is coming up, like I said, this is exactly the position that you want to be in. Frosty has to dip out as fast as possible and does so. So L-Town going to be searching for that kill. The thrust comes in and he's still alive. Now L-Town in a really weird position, bottom center. Everybody knows where he is, but does a nice job staying alive. And Nated, nice shots across the map to light up Frosty, but Frosty just stays alive the entire time here and is going to try to reset with this fuel rod. Let's see what happens because he does have a player pushing in under the base, which is Snakebite, and that's exactly the guy that you want trying to run the flag. See Luminosity, they're completely aware of the situation, and they're just waiting for Frosty to push in with this fuel rod and camo.
Yeah, they know he's pushing in pink side. They've got a decent positioning here. Frosty just too clutch with his map movements and being able to stay alive. Actually picks up another kill here. Flag is being pulled. All 4 members of Optic alive, grabbing a return. You need to have Luminosity get into Optic's base right now if they have any chance of slowing or stopping this one here. You've got Snakebite now taking the flag below the base, and looks like they in fact were able to, but with 2 members dead, 3 members dead, and make that 4. This one's going to get returned and put in. Go ahead and take a look at the stats here. Now Royal 2.
Royal 2.
Going big.
Just woke up. Woke in the Royal 2 beast, and he just absolutely dominated in that game, and quietly as well. It wasn't like we were seeing much of his screen, and he didn't get much of the weapons, but either way, that's going to be Luminosity with a couple of mistakes, especially at the end of the game. I mean, if you have Frosty and you realize he has the camo fuel rod, how do you think you're going to actually capture a flag when they have that? It's like giving someone rockets and overshield and being like, okay, I'm just going to run the flag, but I know you're waiting with rockets and overshield at the base, so it's just as strong. So you're pretty much just giving them a counter cap, and that's a lot what happened in game 1, but the result a little bit different. And now we're going into game number 5, which is going to be Slayer on the rig.
And series number 1 of the day, Tom, not disappointing anyone as we're already looking at Optic Gaming facing another game 5. They've had success before. They've also struggled a lot, and this is going to be a big win. Like we talked about that tight race for 4th or for the top 4 spots, and how Optic Gaming's not even guaranteed, sitting in that number 2 spot. If they lose this game, they're going to go down and be in that same tie with everybody else, depending on how the rest of today plays out. But Luminosity is scaring a lot of people, and Optic Gaming's got to be a little bit nervous. Slayer on the rig. This one could go either way, just one of those coin flips, depending on who gets the spawn, who wins the opening trades, who grabs the beginning power weapons, things like that. And Rig Slayer can one of those games that just stops and never reaches 50 kills.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be in favor of Optic Gaming, but the beginning of this game is super crucial for both teams, especially Luminosity, because you can see in the games that they've won, they haven't had really fantastic beginning strats to really any of these so far. And it's been kind of crazy to see how they've been able to hang in the game. Like when you go and look at, for example, Rig Strongholds, you saw Optic Gaming was able to get that camo, get 3 dead on the side of Luminosity, and somehow Luminosity able to win that game. And also in CTF Fathom, what did they go down in that game? I can't remember. I think it was like 2-1 or something.
It was definitely 2-1, yeah, in favor of Optic.
So the games that they've won, just imagine if they actually get a lead and are able to build on that. They've been fighting uphill this entire series so far. So I would try to evaluate, we've seen a lot of Optic Gaming in the past. I would try to evaluate, maybe they have an analyst or something like that to look at the beginning strategies here, because this is a really crucial time for Luminosity.
Yeah, and who are you looking at to really step up this one if they're going to win this? We've already seen Nated have some awesome Game 5 performances. We've seen,
I think L-Town really
struggle some. L-Town and Nated have probably consistently been 2 players to really step up in Game 5s and drop some really big positive
I'd be watching out for L-Town because he's been really impressing me, and one of the things you see about him is he's constantly moving around the map, and it's just a matter of if he can turn the corner and stay alive, or if Optic Gaming actually hits that last shot on him, determines if L-Town's going to get away or not. So we'll see what happens.
Frosty.
Also, the Plasma Caster is really big in this game. I think that Denoxide and L-Town are very good with that gun, so if they're able to get that in the beginning of the game, or at least take it out of Optic Gaming's hands, we'll see what happens.
All right, yeah, I'm definitely putting my X factor onto Denoxide here for this one. Somebody that we've seen be able to step up and put down some big slays, but somebody that's also struggled if things aren't going his way in a specific game type. So I'm really looking at him, whether or not he goes really positive or just prevents a lot of deaths and helps out the team. Denoxide is who I'm looking to.
All right, well, we are about to get this one started. Guys, everyone is familiar with Team Slayer. First to 50 kills wins. Camo is going to be the most important part of this map next to the sniper rifle, and we'll see how it goes. I'm curious to see if they're going to elect to grenade the sniper rifle back, or if anyone's going to charge that. Maybe Victory X will elect to try to go for it, and we'll see how it goes. Usually he's the one that charges over there, so I'd like to see what happens, and we are on board with your X Factor, Kyle, for this match, and that's going to be Denoxide.
Yeah, he throws that nade. It's actually really good nade. Gets down to the barrel stairs a lot, where he's able to grab some hit markers and then realize there's a player hiding there. So he pushes back, finishes off a kill on Denoxide. Opening strategy essentially going over to Luminosity, or at least they have the beginning lead and picking up camo here. So obviously something's working out, but no, just like that, Frosty reads him like a book, takes out camo.
Yeah, Nated actually has the sniper rifle and took out Frosty, who had the Plasma Caster, I believe. So now the game kind of in Nated's hands, as he has 2 players collapsing on him, not able to hit either of those no-scopes. Royal 2 shutting that down with the no-scope. He had his buddy Lethal over there helping him from that bunker side. So we'll see what happens, because if Royal 2's able to get this sniper shotgun combo, this is the things that you dream about as the main Slayer on one of the best teams, if not the best team.
All right, now he's just chilling in bunker here. We got ourselves a tie game. We'll just let this play out a little bit. Who's going to be making that first move? Essentially, you want to just have Royal 2 find some angles where you can hopefully get some snipes down, as Nated's got a Plasma Caster. Oh, and Royal 2, uncharacteristic mistake, missing a shot there on the Plasma Caster player. However, good call-outs there. Frosty will be able to pick up the kill.
Yeah, while all this is happening, it looks like L-Town flanked, but Frosty was aware and shut him down with the Plasma Caster. Now you have Royal 2 in this position, and casting over the weekend in the Legendary Cup, Walshy was asking me, where's your favorite spot to snipe? And I say that if I have this combination, being where Royal 2 was over there in that top tower area is the perfect scenario. But he elects to rotate over there and realize that the players were going to be spawning in bunkers, so he brings it on over towards this carbine area. And that's one of the things that Royal 2 and Optic Gaming does so well. When you watch Royal 2's screen, when he has sniper rifle, he just looks like he's so calm and patient, knows exactly where players are going to be. And it almost reminds me of Snipe Down, how he used to play, back in 2008, 2009, and just completely aware of situations, just so patient, just waiting for the headshot, lining it up, and that's what makes him so deadly.
Right, now he's still got 2 shots left in this weapon as it looks like Luminosity's starting to make a push. Brett or Naded there, get a couple shots on him or he has to back down, can't commit to this 1v1 challenge. Lethal with a missed ground pound. Naded picks up the kill. Royal 2 not able to get into a position to help out, and that's a big 1v1 win here for Naded.
Yeah, and this is the same scenario that, are you baiting your teammates too much, or, what happens? Because you're over there trying to make the right play, but your teammates are dying all around you because there's camo on the map. So now you don't have any medium-range weapons, and you're forced to make plays like that. And that's kind of why I like sitting up in that top tower area, because you don't get into situations like that. But again, Royal 2 was completely aware of what he had to do to stay alive, just wasn't expecting the pressure from Luminosity. And Luminosity just did a fantastic job while not having any of the weapons and still able to build on a lead or create a lead for themselves.
And this is a good job by Optic. They're trying to put as much pressure on the sniper rifle as no one's been able to grab it here yet. I do like this player here hiding Tower 2 for Luminosity. Naded still in position, as you can see when that green octagonal symbol is up on your screen there. You're not going to be able to, or the weapon is still going to be on spawn.
And Naded didn't realize that he was out of ammo, so that's unfortunate for him, and that's going to be Optic Gaming getting right back into this game. Snakebite sitting over here in that bunker area, bringing the sniper back on over to top tower. And this is one of the things that Optic Gaming loves to do. Once they get control, they just collapse on you immediately, and then they spawn you over at the carbine, kill you here, and then rotate back over towards the bunker. And if you've never had it happen to you, or if you're not ready for the aggression, it's just so hard to communicate, and then the game gets really chaotic, and that's what Optic Gaming thrives on.
Right, and just like that, there was a bleed for Luminosity that's been completely evaporated here with the sniper and plasmacaster. Royal 2 now with another plasmacaster in his hands. You got players pushing over here into Whitehall and barrels. Denoxide picking up a great kill here. Still only a 1-kill lead from Optic. Let's go take a look at Royal 2 as he does have this plasmacaster starting to collapse on the enemy team. And wow, I can't believe that did not actually kill that player. Everyone, Luminosity doing a great job of staying alive, and 2 kills now going back over in the lead change.
It's crazy because Royal 2 is currently sitting at 7-2, and yet this game is all tied up, and everyone putting in a pretty even performance on the side of Luminosity. Nobody really standing out. But
victory.
Yeah, I mean, they're hanging in there, and it's so impressive to see them do that based on the circumstances. You can see Snakebite with the sniper rifle, with the camo. You saw Royal 2 with the sniper and the shotgun. They haven't had the weapons in their hands, but they're able to hang right in there and keep the lead here.
Ooh, sneaky plays here by Snakebite, excuse me. Looks like they will get the call out that Snakebite is no longer Tower 2. Good positioning from Denoxide, kind of moving around here. Not able to grab that first shot and decides to back off here. You got 2, now 3 players potentially in top tower, and Snakebite just doing amazing things here with this weapon, helping out the squad. And now, as he's starting to realize his camo's getting low and he's out of sniper ammo, he's just going to back up and grab the new shotgun.
I bet he wished he had a little bit more camo because he could have rotated right back into the tower area. And again, that's just such a powerful position to be with the shotgun. Sniper rifle dropping in 30 seconds. And this has been a really slow game. I mean, you can see 6-minute mark here very soon. And if you do the math, that's not going to end up being to 50 kills eventually. So we'll see what happens here, and Snakebite in a really, really powerful position if he can get the flank in, but Altown sniffs it out, realizes that something isn't right. He takes Snakebite down to no shields. Royal 2 getting a kill, and here comes the push for Optic Gaming if they want it.
All right, new Plasmacaster coming up, new Sniper coming up as well here. So this is going to be the battle everybody wants to see. There's only, games half over at this point, or over half over depending on the time limit, and just like that, Plasmacaster kill going over to Luminosity. or excuse me, let me try that again, to Optic Gaming while Luminosity grabs the sniper.
So many weapons over here. Snakebite trying to leave something for his boy over at the SMG, but too much action on the map to do so. And Frosty gets that kill onto Victory X finally. So we'll see what happens over here as Snakebite elects to get a pistol with one bullet in there. So he's going to be salty as soon as he realizes what's going on.
I don't think he's realized it yet.
Well, he will pretty soon here because he could pick up that battle rifle that he's staring at right down below him. So
now, do you think he can knock down the camo with that one shot, or do you think he needs like 10 shots like Lethal was looking at?
I don't know. We'll see. At least he only needs one shot. Nice job. So there it's going to be Denoxide picking that one up. And he thrusts away, actually. So that's surprising coming out from Optic Gaming. They were electing to bait that one and gave it up. Frosty picks up a kill. Naded gets that kill onto Snakebite, shuts down the shotgun player, and he had that snipe too at the same time. Frosty flying in with the SMG. Now I'm curious to see what happened with Denoxide with that camo, and he's still alive over there in the back rails fighting a player, but he gets taken out by Royal too. So Denoxide, your camo player, was a huge opportunity for Luminosity to build on a lead here. Now Optic Gaming, they're taking full advantage.
Yeah, this is scary. You just had all 4 members go down here for Luminosity. This is not the point in the game where you want to start seeing that happen. Only 16 kills here left for Optic to actually close out this series and give Luminosity another loss.
Luminosity needs to not get worried because they've been so resilient this entire series. It was Denoxide who had a pretty big misplay with that camo, and that's going to have been the run that Luminosity needed again. But they need to not be flustered. They need to wait for this next camo, not give up any deaths. Maybe they can at least trade kills or get 1 or 2 here to make it a little bit more feasible. But either way, they're still in a decent position in this game. If you told these guys, hey, you're going to be in Game 5 with Optic Gaming and it's only a 4-kill game with 4 minutes left, I think they would take it.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. It means they won 2 games already, and that's never an easy feat to have happen against a squad this good.
And it really slowed down here. This one definitely not going to go to 50 kills unless Optic Gaming really blows up and gets aggressive here. But I'm not expecting them to do that. We saw what they want to do when they're over at the bunker area, but when you're in this position, it's a lot harder to push, especially when everybody's setting up so, smartly, I guess you could say, on the side of Luminosity. But that looked like a headshot, and Lethal going to try to pick up this one. That's going to be a kill going on over to Frosty, though. And it seems like Luminosity doesn't know what they want to do with this camo coming up. They're all over their top tower side where that railgun would spawn, but yet nobody making a move.
Yeah, I mean, they know Sniper is still over in the hands of Optic Gaming, and they're really scared to push out. Now, that's going to be ammo, or Lethal out of ammo here now, but I don't think anyone from Luminosity is going to be able to realize that here yet. Denoxide down in these trenches a whole lot, but does pick up a kill. Still a 5-kill game as Frosty picks up, as Frosty gets taken out here, but Lethal answers back. Still 5-kill game as we're about to hit the 40-kill mark. Victory X, he's been walking around in this Whitehall for quite some time this game here now.
Yeah, and he's going to die pretty soon here. He does have the SMG, but they're going to collapse on him immediately. And yeah, that's unfortunate. Lethal just really outplayed Victory the entire time there. I mean, Victory had an opportunity to go and flank from the SMG side and kill that guy while he was no shields and sniping. And he also had an opportunity to call out the player that was flanking, which was Lethal the entire time. So Lethal just aware that Victory was sitting up there, but naded with the snipe over here top tower. If he's able to go on a little bit of a rampage here towards the end, he could bring these guys right back.
Oh, and just like that, grabs another kill here. That was going to be 2 dead briefly for Optic. Good opportunity to grab some kind of control back down to a 5-kill game. Still tons of ammo left in this weapon as well. Hits the no-scope.
This is what he needs to do.
Yeah, needs to protect his teammates here as L-Town grabs yet another one down to 4 kills again, Tom.
This is what Nate needs to do. He needs to get really confident here and just not necessarily fly out, but he's going to need someone else to go and push here. Ooh, there's one headshot. That's going to be onto Snakebite. Multiple players over there in the bunker area. They're going to spot him, call him out. It's only 2 kills here. Nate needs to stay alive ASAP. One player does spawn behind him. That's going to be Snakebite. Now, the problem is nobody collapsed. And Nate needs someone to push there. And they let Snakebite spawn behind him. So that's just a huge misplay by the rest of the guys on Luminosity. Nate's doing everything that he can, and all these other guys are just scared to push when they have numbers, and that's going to end up eventually costing them the game. I don't see Optic Gaming not able to secure this one here because camo, that's going to be probably going on over these guys. I mean, it's only a 4-kill game here, but they really missed a huge opportunity with the way Nated was playing.
Yeah, Nated was bringing it back, was hitting the shots he needed to hit, but that spawn by Snakebite and the collapse. I mean, and that was great communication and teamwork from Optic as well to recognize Snakebite had that spawn and for everyone to push at that moment.
Yeah, it's just you can't play scared. When you get the numbers on these guys, you have to finish them off. You have to charge, and you have to protect Nated. Nated can't be... yeah, he tried to rotate back, but as he went back towards top tower, he had to be expecting one of his teammates to collapse from either, like, overpass or bottom SMG or something, or maybe just go to where he was and charge over there so he could actually line up some easy shots, and that just didn't happen, and now they're pretty much faced with the situation where they have to play it perfectly with 35 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a whole lot of time left. They either need to put all 4 down, go for a tie, and send it into overtime, but that's going to be really hard to do. When Denoxide already gets taken out, they have to make moves now. They don't have time to wait for everyone to respawn again.
Just another one of those instances where your person with the power weapons is the furthest person pushed up, and that's not what you can have happen here. So Nated has that plasma caster. He needs to go and, you know, not be the first person to push up there. So there goes the collapse. It's going to be L-Town and Nated pushing on over there. It's going to be a 2-on-2, but with only 10 seconds left, I don't think that they're going to be able to get all the kills that they need. Even if they got these 2 kills, they're going to have to pick up a spawner at the same time. So Lethal knows that he's just running around staying alive, and that's going to be game number 5 going over to Optic Gaming. They win the series, and a big missed opportunity for Luminosity.
Ooh, and look at Frosty's deaths. Holy cow, he was charging a lot that game. 14 kills to lead the pack in the game, but 19 deaths. Definitely leading the pack there.
Yeah, more deaths than Lethal and Royal 2 combined, so I'm sure they're giving them a little bit of slack from that. But either way, I think that they played really fantastic on Luminosity's side. I'm just shocked that no one came and got Nated's back, because he had really prime position. He could have just sat up there in the tower side if someone else would have just tried to trade kills. And they just sat back and realized, oh, we can't give up any more deaths here. But that's one of the worst ways to lose, is you feel like you could have won that series, but yet you ran out just because of the time limit, and that's just so unfortunate.
All right, but that is going to be Optic Gaming walking away with the first series of the night. 3-2 victory, not disappointing anyone. 48-45 game number 5. So games 1 and 3 were extremely close. Luminosity was able to steal away there, but the games that Optic won, pretty convincing wins there. Just even the way they played at the end of that game, considering Luminosity was in such prime position to really close that out, put themselves in a great spot, especially with that game 1 victory. But the snakebite spawn on Carbine when Nated took shots from
Plus the
bunker.
passive Victory X play over there in that White Hall, just allowing Lethal to go over there, get that free kill, and, you know, he just got pinched from the side. So it was just some poor communication coming out, I guess, and just maybe just not ready to take on Optic Gaming all the way there. It seems like they're hanging. They're looking really solid. It's just, again, Nated needed a little bit more support coming out from those guys when he had the sniper rifle.
All right, now we do have a winner view coming up here. We've got Lethal joining us from Optic Gaming, coming off of a close Game 5 win. Lethal, walk me through the end of that Game 5 and what just happened.
Well, there's about 7 times during that game where I thought we completely blew it. We gave them caster. I don't think we were on top of a single camo. I don't know. We were pretty much full shambles the whole time. As you guys could see, Frosty had 19 deaths. The only other player that really does that is Ninja. So I actually said right after the game, I was like, those are some Ninja plays, which kind of offended him. I don't know why. Ninja's a great guy. But, you know, maybe he has something against him. But I don't know.
I was wondering how you guys would perform online after having a great LAN performance. We all know Royal 2, when he goes on to LAN, he really shines there. So what has been your what have your scrims been like online, and did you guys have a little bit of frustration today in dealing with the performance that you guys had now compared to the performance that you guys just had?
A little bit is an understatement. You know, every time we win a LAN event, I feel like Royal 2 gets back home, and online is like, even if it's not worse, it just like amplifies in his mind. So he's just been super frustrated, you know, but we try to keep him calm. It's hard, but our scrims have been pretty good. Our first one or two back were pretty chaotic, but after that we kind of been playing a lot better, especially our last 2 against Envy and Liquid.
Now, I wanted to actually get your take on the team changes. Who do you think was the team to benefit the most, and was there anything that really surprised you?
I was pretty surprised to see that new, well, I guess that old, the old Liquid roster reform, and I think they did benefit the most as well, too, simply because you could see that the trio of Heinz, APG, and Ace play well together. I mean, especially with their last week, they went 2-0. with Renegade, and then Eco rejoining. I think that those 4 together just, work really well, and they're a really good team. Like, they don't have any superstar standout players that people might think, but those 4 together just play really well. They were probably 3rd or 4th best team, I would say, at Worlds, but the top half of the bracket was really stacked.
So if you think that that team has benefited the most, and they're currently sitting, I believe, in 7th place, who do you think that they can make a run and try to replace and push down into the relegation area?
I guess that just kind of is waiting to be seen, because obviously before the team changes, everybody was so close. Like, there were, 4 or 5 teams that were tied, and they were 1 game behind them. So, I don't know. I think Liquid staying together is really good for them. I think that they'll benefit from that. But I think they definitely can, and I'd say it's a pretty high chance, as long as they get the wins they need to, that LOL will get possibly that 4th spot. I don't know, though. We'll see. I don't really know much about these new rosters, to be honest. I swear people just made changes and nobody's been playing.
Well, Lethal, want to appreciate you taking the time to join us once again. I agree with just about everything you said. I also think the Eco joining the LOL squad, reforming that team Liquid, is probably going to be the most improved team. So it's really excited to see what they're going to be able to do. But of course, GG's excellent game 5 from your end as well, and best of luck in your matches tomorrow.
Yeah, goodbye.
Lethal, always a character, and of course, what an awesome performance, and he did clutch it up at the end too. I mean, he was running circles around Nate, doing a little ring around the Rosie there on BR's side, but of course, that is an awesome victory in our game, or match number 1 of the night. Now, if you are at home, we do want to hear from you. Of course, you might be able to get your tweets featured here on the stream, so make sure you tweet at us using the hashtag HCS, or tweet at ESL Halo or at HCS. Now, that is going to do it for our match number 1. We will have LOL facing Enigma 6 coming up right after a short break.